To this fifth Express Logistics and Supply Chain Conclave, which has been organized by Kamikaze and their indefatigable Mr. Harish Bhatia. Now the Express Logistics and Supply Chain Conclave has developed the reputation of being the major express industry conference in the country.
We come here to share knowledge. We have textbooks, we have education and training, and we have consultants, we have logistics service providers, software houses. We know what best practice is. The challenge...
Topic, supply chain agenda, a boardroom perspective. We already have our esteemed panel members right over here. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, now I...
itself very well in regards to the supply chain event. Basically bringing in a lot of latest thought processes to do with SCM and what's happening globally and how it can be adapted to the Indian situation. So to that extent, SCM has been doing a fantastic job for the last 5 years.
This is a key word now in the boardroom, and this is the only subject left for Indian industry now. When I think they must focus on these areas, because marketing is done, the quality is definitely essential, and that is done already. But how Indian industry can be competitive, I think, in my opinion, the supply chain will be the differentiator for the future years to come.
Of going up the ladder, we are actually going down the ladder when you compare with consecutive years. Today we rank around at the rate of 47. In 2007 we were 39. So as I said, is that it's a tall order. We need to have a lot of things to do to come into the global scenario. One is definitely the government has to take the whole thing very seriously. The infrastructure, the policy, especially the policy, when you look into it, they have to have the willpower to drive aggressive policy to make things work. When you look into infrastructure, we have to look into all the areas of infrastructure. Just to give you an example, like a normal commercial vehicle in India moves at 20 miles an hour, but when you compare with the global scenario, it moves at 60 miles an hour. So that's how you compare apples to apples.
It is yet to come. As I see it, there's a lot of talk about how the weight in the global economy is shifting towards Asia, and India has a key role as this shift continues to happen. I think India is a market which has got huge domestic demand. The domestic demand and the strength of strong demand in the country is bringing a lot of global players into India. So the scale which domestic demand gives is going to give everybody the scale to become a manufacturing base. So that will transform the supply chain of manufacturers and businesses in almost every sector.
The ways to, first of all, the logistics service providers is that they have to become more and more aware of what their customer companies are seeking in today's very difficult environment. Customers on the export and import side are facing a world that is sliding into global recession, or that certainly isn't growing very rapidly, and therefore they are looking for opportunities to reduce their costs.
I think that's where we need to work together to actually make sure that the messages that are put over in events like this are taken on board by the captains and leaders of industry and are taken through into practice. And I think that's a challenge in terms of leadership development, in terms of supply chain in the boardroom, in terms of qualifications, in terms of support to make the vision into a reality.
I believe is one of the fastest growing industry in this country, and it's one of the focus sectors for any logistics service provider. The same is true for Drive. We thought it would be a good opportunity to get people who matter in the FMCG industry to sit together and look at the challenges at hand and work out answers together.
We are following different supply chain strategies, especially with the world now becoming a small place, supply chains becoming global, fluctuations in currencies now being commonplace, and imports versus domestic production changing by the day depending on currency fluctuations, as well as a lot of categories which earlier need not have had a very responsive or agile supply chain, but now needing a very agile supply chain, especially in the telecom, electronics, CDNE sector. Furthermore, with electronic commerce coming in, internet commerce coming in, digital commerce coming in, it is high time that supply chains become more and more responsive, agile and flexible.
It's time to take a look at the best freight forwarder of the year. And the winner is
Shankar Private Limited.
So I'm very proud on the behalf of CHEP India.
We come to an end to this beautiful award ceremony. I'd like to invite all the winners to kindly come on stage for a photo op session.